Alyssa Trotz, these people, the list goes on and on. There are
Exactly.
people who have the knowledge, skills, and experience.
Governments who care for their people, wants the best for their people,
Yes.
would always look to hire the best.
Yep.
You know, they don't knock off the best and replace them with nincompoop and incompetence. No, when you do that, you have your own agenda.
Yes.
Okay?
It should be.
And you have, and the only agenda you can have there is to serve your interests,
Yes.
your personal interests. And this is what has been happening all along. Right?
That's it. That's the game that's being played.
With that, can I take leave?
Yes,
tonight?
we all can take our leave tonight.
The Guyana Elections Commission is currently conducting a registration exercise that will end on May 29, 2022. You can apply for registration if you will be 14 years and older by October 31st, 2022 and have never been registered. Apply for change or correction to your registration information such as names, date of birth, and occupation. Apply for a transfer if you have changed your address since you were registered. Apply for a replacement ID card if your ID card was lost, stolen, damaged, or destroyed. You must bring along original documents to support your application. Don't delay. Visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area today. For more information, visit www.gcom.org.gy. Follow us on Facebook at Guyana Elections Commission or contact us on 225-02779 or 223-9653. Email pro@gcom.org.gy.
Kaieteur Radio, keeping you informed.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Burbies 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Good day, welcome to your main newscast on Kaieteur Radio. I'm Kevin Smith. Let's get to the news in detail. Hess Corporation was excited to share with investors on Wednesday morning updates on its sanctioned Guyana projects that are poised to return multi-million-dollar profits based on the generous provisions of the Stabroek Block PSA and prevailing oil prices for sweet light crude. In April 2022, the corporation recalled that the operator of the Stabroek Block, being Esso, had announced it had made the final investment decision to proceed with the Yellowtail development on the Stabroek Block after the field development plan received approval from the government of Guyana in a record-breaking 52 days. Excluding pre-sanction costs and FPSO purchase cost, Hess Corporation's net share of development costs is forecast to be approximately $2.3 billion. In other news, Vice President Dr. Barra Tijagio on Wednesday led a cabinet outreach to the Mahaica-Berbice region, where he told residents of Dundee Maikoni that some $32 billion will be spent to tackle flooding across the country. The funds will be split between Regions 2, 3, 5, and 6 this year, he told the community. He said that the government, when they constructed the Hope Canal in Region 5, had anticipated keeping the east coast of Demerara safe from conservancy threats and avoiding excessive water being released into the Mahaica Creek. The Hope Canal, Jagdio said, has been effective in keeping water off the land, but a new plan is being developed to help the administration manage overtopping. And coming from the Jamaica Observer, the Caribbean Examinations Council has pushed back final exams for CSEC and CAPE by 3 weeks. The exams, which were set to get underway on May 2nd, will now commence on Monday, May 23rd. The results are projected to be released in late August or early September. This announcement was made by Registrar and CEO at CXE, Dr. Wayne Wesley. The decision, which was made during a special meeting of the governing board of the council Wednesday morning, follows feedback from regional ministries of education. Just last week, the president of the Caribbean Union of Teachers, Dr. Garth Anderson, had called for the exams to be delayed by 3 weeks. And from a report from DPI, President Irfan Ali on Tuesday told a group of United Kingdom investors that the Chinese are more aggressive than them in their approach to investment in Guyana. He made this assertion while speaking about Guyana's potential and investment opportunities during his feature address at the Guyana Investment Seminar held at Carlton House in London. He said that while the UK has earmarked millions of pounds that Guyana can qualify for through investment, infrastructure development, and infrastructure transformation, there is a lack of aggressiveness from the UK and EU private sectors. Only recently, Chinese investment here came into sharp focus with allegations that government officials were being bribed in exchange for lucrative infrastructure and other contracts. A number of major projects have been built by Chinese contractors over the years, such as the Chedijagan International Airport, which continues to milk the Guyanese treasury. And in other news, one of the men who was shot on April 16th last during a street brawl at North Sophia has died. 27-year-old Yarden Jacobs died around 17 hours on Tuesday while receiving treatment for the gunshot injury, which he had received to his lower back. Jacobs and his cousin, 29-year-old Steve Bacchus, were shot just after midnight on April 16th. They were reportedly hanging out with some friends at Tanari area, North Sophia, when an argument started between Jacobs and another man. The shooter remains at large. And moving on. An estimated 2.8 million people, or nearly 40% of the population in the English-speaking Caribbean, are food insecure, 1 million more than in April 2020, according to results of a recent survey conducted by CARICOM and the United Nations World Food Programme. Severe food insecurity continues to increase in the region, with the current figure 72% higher when compared to April 2020. Highlighting the lasting impact of the pandemic 2 years in, the results demonstrate deteriorating food consumption and diets, with 25% of respondents eating less preferred foods, 30% skipping meals or eating less than usual, and 5% going an entire day without eating in the week leading up to the survey. High food prices continue to affect people's ability to afford a nutritious diet, with 93% of respondents reporting higher prices for food compared to 59% in April of 2020. You're listening to Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. This is your News at Noon. We will resume after the break.
This is GHK Lal inviting you to join me weekdays from Monday to Friday on the National Outlook for commentary on a range of issues. Immediately after the 12 noon and 7 p.m. newscasts on Kaieteur Radio at 99.1 FM and 99.5 FM. Looking forward to you sharing in the conversation.
Guyana is now a full-fledged oil-producing nation. But how much do you know about this valuable yet finite resource? On our radio program, Guyana's Oil and You, we strike at the heart of every issue with informed views and credible data. The time is now for you to arm yourself with insightful knowledge on your oil wealth.
Welcome back. Let us continue with the news. The economies of Latin America and the Caribbean face a complex juncture in 2022 due to the war between Russia and Ukraine, which ushers in a new source of uncertainty for the world economy. This is negatively affecting global growth, now estimated at 3.3%, a percentage point below original projections before the hostilities began. At the regional level, lower expected growth will be accompanied by higher inflation and slow employment recovery. According to new estimates released today by the Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean, average growth of 1.8% is predicted for the region in this context, where the conflict in Ukraine has heightened inflation, increasing financial volatility and costs. The economies of South America will grow by 1.5%, Central America and Mexico by 2.3%, while 4.7% growth is expected for the Caribbean economies, excluding Guyana. And now let's tell you, politics should have no place in the appointment of top judges or constitutional commissions. This is the view of economist and social commentator Raymond Gaskin. Gaskin, who has been outspoken about issues affecting the development of the country, added his voice to the recent calls for the appointment of a substantive chancellor and chief justice, as well as the reconstituting of several constitutional commissions. According to Gaskin, the political climate in Guyana makes it difficult for these functionaries to operate unhindered. He took his remarks a step further, calling for all the board to have real independence from the politicians. At present, a number of commissions are inoperable. And moving on, as part of efforts to upgrade the Canal Number 1 and 2 main access roads this year, 2 more contracts worth $192 million have been awarded to complete Phase 2 of the projects. These 2 new contracts now make it $500 million being spent by the Ministry of Public Works to do rehabilitative works on the roads. As previously reported, already $343.7 million was spent on the first phase of these roads. Meanwhile, thieves on Sunday raided the Durban Backlands home of ex-President David Granger and stole a 52-inch Samsung television valued at $240,000, a Lasco fan valued $7,000, 4 Huawei laptop computers valued at $320,000, 1 HP printer valued $120,000, and 1 barber set in a black shoulder bag valued $50,000. Police believe that the thieves entered Granger's home between 18 hours 45 and 5 hours 45. Although the ex-president does not live there anymore, the house has been converted into a library, and according to security that works there, he locked up and secured the property around 18 hours 45 on a Sunday. Investigations are ongoing. And on that note, we now head over to the page 7 of today's Kaieteur News, dedicated to, of course, being blunt. Guyana is a strange place, and so are our leaders. In the midst of opulence, Guyanese are still mired in poverty. We read about the triple oil strike, yet our children are going to bed hungry. We hear about 11 billion recoverable barrels of oil, yet thousands of families go to bed with nothing in their cupboard. And then we hear our president boasts, idle boast, we would call it, claiming that the supply boats for Exxon operations offshore expend roughly $50 million per month buying greens at Perica Market. Our dear president said these were the untold stories. Indeed, no one would want to tell such a story when we are paying $9 billion per month in rental for the said supply boats that are spending $50 million monthly to patronize our vendors. What worries us here at Kaieteur is whether when the president made the bold statement, he knew of the $9 billion which we are paying for the vessels as per the oil contract, whether he was deliberately trying to bamboozle the nation or it was just plain old propaganda. The fact that he uttered such idleness to an audience of diplomats, top private sector officials, and foreign investors makes you cringe. And that brings us to the end of today's News at Noon. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210.